Once upon a time, in a quiet village, far from the noise of the world, there lived a boy named Kian. And Kian had a gift. A wonderful gift. A gift that made him different. A gift that made him special. But you know what? He wasn't the only one. He could speak to animals. Not just hear them, understand them. Deeply, clearly, like a friend. When he spoke, the trees would listen. The birds would warn him of storms. The ants would show him hidden paths. And the dogs loved him like a brother. Kian lived for adventures. Every morning he'd set out with a loaf of bread, an old straw hat, and a pouch full of dreams. He'd walk into the woods and talk to the animals he met. Nah, you gotta work for that trust. You gotta show 'em who you are, what you're about. And let me tell you, Kian was all about it. He spent years with the animals, learning their ways, their fears, their hopes. He helped the deer who got tangled in the hunter's fence. He soothed the owl whose wing was hurt by a careless man. He even saved a fox kit from a well. Over time, the animals began to open up to him. They told him stories about the forest, about the best berries, the safest caves, the sweetest streams. They shared their worries with him. The changing seasons, the threat of hunters, the growing darkness that seemed to fall earlier each day. And Kian listened. He didn't just hear their words. He felt their emotions, their joy, their sorrow, their love, their anger. And you know what? It wasn't just magic. It was a message. Kian learned that animals don't just live with us. They feel with us. They fear with us. They dream with us. By understanding their emotions, Kian grew stronger. He learned to control his temper when the rabbits thumped their feet in fear. He shared his food when the foxes yipped and howled for hunger. He stood up for them when the hunters came to the village, asking for traps and snares. And the animals, they saw this. They saw how Kian changed, how he became stronger, kinder, wiser. And they loved him all the more for it. One day, the world will know his story, not because he had a rare gift, but because he used it with love. A love for animals, a love for nature, a love for the world. He showed us that we are not just observers of nature, but a part of it. He showed us that the bond between humans and animals is not just a whim, but a way of life. As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, Kian walked home with his animal friends trotting behind him. The wind rustled through the trees, carrying with it the whispers of the forest. And in those whispers, maybe, just maybe, you can hear the story of the boy who spoke to animals. A story of friendship, of adventure, of courage. A story that reminds us that in the quietest corners of the world, the most extraordinary friendships can blossom.